with LaMelo, what is kind of your feelings on him? Because I understand what you're saying about him being a jump shooter, but he seems to have kind of this flair to be, I don't know, like an elite player in this league. But from what you're telling me, I don't think he's got the chops for it. So, from your perspective, is it is it possible to build a team around him just in terms of other pieces, or do you think he's a supplemental piece and it might be time to kind of move in a different direction?
He's a mercurial talent and a mercurial personality. He's not your typical NBA player when you hear him interviewed, when you see how he plays. He calls himself one of one, and I think people sometimes from the outside view that as arrogance. But I kind of actually think he is one of one just because, like, I've never seen someone with his approach and mindset. And like, and that doesn't help him always. Like, with the media, he is terrible. He gives them nothing, like, deadpans them. And, like, when you have media covering the league, like, he doesn't help himself. He's not a very good PR person for himself. But then, connected to that, he's like one of the most popular NBA players amongst like casual NBA League Pass fans. Like, he's just leading the East for votes, for fan votes and guards. And like, I can tell you right now, most of the NBA media is not going to have LaMelo Ball on the ballot because they don't like his turnovers, his early shot clock attempts where he doesn't pass the ball. They view him as a bit selfish, as not a serious basketball player. And there is some truth within that. Like, he definitely has a careless nature at times, which looks like he's playing for fun, not to win. But equally, like, the numbers don't lie. The Hornets are 12 points better off when LaMelo Ball plays on the court. And their record with LaMelo Ball in the lineup and without is, like, starkly different. They are, like, just below a 500 team, basically, with LaMelo over the last 4 or 5 years. But I completely understand when you watch the film, like, every single night I watch LaMelo, there's about 4 or 5 times where I go, what are you doing? And it goes in, or he creates an assist. And then there's 4 or 5 times where I go, what are you doing? And he misses, and it looks terrible. And I really do think whatever you want to see with LaMelo, you can. And I think the truth is probably somewhere in the middle. I think he has exceptional talent. I do think he has the talent to have a team built around him, but only if his game matures and he improves on some of his main issues, like over-aggressive fouling, turnovers, trying to be more efficient, taking better shots. Like, he never used to be this like high-volume shot chucker. Like, chucker's too harsh of a word, but he never used to be a super high-volume shooter. He was always like a pass-first point guard, and he's kind of reverted to being more of a scorer than a creator. Now, maybe that's because of the players around him this year, because there isn't a lot of scoring on this team at the moment, partly because of the injuries. But the last couple of years when he's played, even though he's not played many games, he's kind of played this similar style. So I would like to see him reining it in a little bit and playing a more balanced game. And that's what I would like to see from him. If he does that, I think you can build around him. If he doesn't, then I think he is more of a, he's not the guy that you want to be relying on night to night because you just don't know what you're going to get.
No, that makes sense. I want to transition to the fan base of the Charlotte Hornets. We always like to delve into every NBA team in regards to what makes them special and distinct compared to other teams within the NBA. Can you kind of give kind of your perspective in terms of the feedback you receive from your content among other Hornets fans, just in terms of the relationship they have with the team? Is it any different than other NBA teams? Like, what makes it distinct, or is it kind of par for the course in terms of NBA fandom?
Well, that's a lot of disillusioned Hornets fans, as you can probably imagine, with the lack of relevance, success, and like just bad luck this team have had over the years. Like, going back to the injuries over the last 3 years, going back to the year that the cap spiked, and you remember the Warriors signed Kevin Durant. Well, that was also the year that they had like Nick Batum, Marvin Williams become free agents, and they ended up having to pay them like a absolutely huge overpay because they had to retain them because they were coming off their good year. And if that happened any other year, not on the cap spike, like that put this franchise back for 3 or 4 years. They've had bad lottery luck, missed out on Anthony Davis, got Michael Kidd-Gilchrist, got down to the last 2 to get Victor Wembanyama, ended up with Brandon Miller, actually jumped up in that draft, so they were lucky. But there is definitely a feeling that like the things have just not quite fallen right for this franchise. And there's, a lot of disillusioned fans over the years who've become pretty numb to the team now. And the way it works, you get a little bit excited in preseason, people start to buy into the PR, and then the season starts, and then people quickly lose interest. I think alongside that, you have the LaMelo fans, who, will claim that it is all a complete, it's a conspiracy against LaMelo to succeed. The team don't really want him to succeed. They want to trade him. He should be in LA. He should go somewhere else. And they often, bump heads against the probably more grounded Hornets fans, because that kind of stuff I subscribe is just kind of ridiculous. So that also creates some friction. But, I know a lot of season ticket holders. I mean, I don't live in America. It won't surprise anyone to hear. I live in Manchester, UK. But I've covered the team for the best part of 15 to 20 years now. I know a lot of season ticket holders, and even those who've gone through all these bad seasons are feeling like, where is the light at the end of the tunnel? So I think even with the new takeover, the new coach, the new ownership, this season, people were kind of hoping it would be different, even though I kind of knew it wasn't going to be. But I do understand from a fan perspective, you think, oh, there's a lot of change. Like, this could be better, and we could be healthy. And what will this team look like when they're healthy? And so far, they've still looked not great.